Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session of BEEE. In the previous session, we have discussed about the application of diode, like diode as a switch, diode as a rectifier, diode as a clipper and clamper. Okay. In the rectifier, we have seen half wave and full wave rectifier, its construction, its working principle with waveform. Even in the full wave rectifier, we have seen two different configurations: center tape transformer, center tape full wave, and bridge type full wave rectifier. Okay, in case of clipper, we have uh, different types of clipper that we have completed, like uh, positive clipper, negative clipper. In positive we have series and shunt, as well as in negative also we have series and shunt. Okay, we have seen without bias, with biased, then combination clipper, that includes the both, right? Like shunt positive as well as negative. Then after, we have seen the clamper circuit and its different types, right? Now today we are going to discuss about the special purpose of diodes. As you can see over here, that several different types of diodes are mentioned. Okay, and previously these applications are based on the diode only, but that diode is PN junction diode. Okay, so let us today we are going to see Zener diode, LED, and photodiode. Okay, so these are the special purpose diode that you have to learn: Zener, LED, photo, laser diode, 7-segment display, then varactor diode, Schottky diode, pin diode. Okay, then we have tunnel diode, step recovery diode. Okay, so let us start with the Zener diode. So here you can see the circuit symbol. Zener diode is generally represented by this. So you can see a slight modification in the symbol of Zener diode if you compare it with the PN junction diode. Only the symbol is look like Z. Okay. So there are many ways in which Zener diode is packaged. Some are used for high levels of power dissipation and others are contained with surface mount format. The most common type of Zener diode is contained within a small glass encapsulation. It has a band around one end marking the cathode side of the diode and another one is the anode. So this is anode and this vertical line will show the cathode terminal. So practically you can see this type of strip is there from which you can identify that this terminal is cathode. Zener diode, also known as breakdown diode, and is heavily doped semiconductor device that is designed to operate in the reverse direction. Okay, so here from these students you can identify the difference in between Zener diode and the conventional PN junction diode. Okay. So what is the difference? So first difference is this diode can operate in reverse biased, okay, the breakdown region. the reverse bias condition. Second is, it is heavily doped semiconductor device. Okay. When voltage across terminal of Zener diode is reversed and potential reaches to the Zener voltage, that is the knee voltage, the junction breaks down and current flow in reverse direction. And this effect is known as Zener effect. So Zener diode is heavily doped semiconductor device that is designed to operate in reverse bias condition or reverse direction. So let me share whiteboard with you and I will tell you about this, what it meant to say. All of you, whiteboard is visible. See, this is my conventional diode, conventional PN junction, let us say. And here I'm going to draw one more. Yes, almost same construction is there. Okay, now let me write, this is normal PN junction diode and this will be Zener diode. This will be Zener diode. Now try to understand. So this is PN junction and here also let me mark, this is the PN junction. Now the first difference that PN junction diode is lightly doped. Okay, PN junction diode is lightly doped. So this is P. So these are the holes. There's some problem is there. Everyone, am I audible? Because this pen is not working. Okay. Let me see what happened. So I think there is some issue with this. I can't draw it now. drawing is not going to be cleared out. Okay, let us continue with PT. So what I meant to say, in lightly doped condition and in the C. Okay, you just look over here. Consider this is my PN junction diode and this is the Zener diode. Okay, this one is the Zener diode. So obviously here you will find one junction in both the case. Now this is P region, which is here majority charge carriers are whole. Majority charge carriers are whole, so it is doped with the holes. Okay, and on the n-type region, the majority charge carriers are electrons. So you can consider this green are the electrons. These are the electrons. Okay. Now in Zener also it is doping with the, this is my n-type region, and here one sentence is written that it is heavily doped, means we have more number of impurity over here, more number of impurities. So these are the electrons. You can consider still more, but I'm just going to show you the difference. So now I think you can able to understand the difference in between these two. So this is heavily doped. Similarly on P side, these are the holes. These are the holes that is also heavily doped. So more number of impurities are added. So I hope first point is clear to all of you, that if you compare Zener diode with the PN junction diode, then this is lightly doped and this is heavily doped. Now due to heavy doping in this, okay, I told you the diffusion process when we have studied the Zener diode, PN junction diode. Okay, so due to diffusion process, these all electrons are diffused to the P, so that will fill this space. So now your electrons on this side, okay, and the holes created on this side, and you will find one junction in between, the region that is known as depletion region. Yes or no? The same process will take place in the Zener diode also, but if you look, due to the heavy doping, see what happened. These all electrons are coming, these all electrons are coming on this side. Sorry. All electrons are coming on this side, and here also one depletion region is formed. Okay. But if you see that depletion region, now you can clearly understood what is the difference in depletion region in Zener and in PN junction. See the width of depletion region and see the width of depletion region over here. So width of depletion region is less. Width of depletion region is less. Okay. But the number of electrons and number of holes present, that is dense in this quantity. More number of quantities are there due to heavily doping. So definitely here negative charge and here positive charge is going to be created. Same thing is created over here also. But the barrier potential in the PN junction diode is less because of less number of electrons present in the depletion region. But here this barrier potential is also more. So this is third difference. So what are the differences? First is Zener diode is heavily doped as compared to PN junction. Width of depletion region in Zener diode is less as compared to PN junction. Barrier potential is more as compared to PN junction diode, right? It is acting or it is operated in reverse bias condition. Operated in reverse bias condition. That means you have to connect the battery terminal. You have to connect the battery terminal like this. How? Because this is my N, sorry, P, and this is N. So here I have to connect positive and here I have to connect negative. So what happened? Previously the electric field intensity is on this direction, but now electric field intensity due to external supply is also supporting, right? Yes or no? Because this is also at negative potential and this is at positive potential. So both the field intensity are in the same direction, and that's why you can see now this intensity is going to be increased. Intensity is going to be increased, right? So due to this intensity, what happened now? See, normally this majority charge carriers are not going to pass through this barrier or in this depletion region because of reverse bias condition, but definitely this depletion region will support the minority carriers because we know some electrons are there in the P that are acting as minority carrier. Okay, so that electrons are going to be passed through it. How? Because here you can see this is negative sign, so definitely electron will repel, and this positive is going to be attract that electron, and when electron passing through this, definitely it will gain more energy. Why? Because of high electric field intensity, and in this way the current is going to be flow. Okay, now more and more number of electrons are going to flow, and that is known as Zener breakdown. Zener breakdown. How it is possible? Because you are going to increase this voltage. As you are increasing, the field intensity is going to be increased, the number of electrons are going to be increased. Okay. See, here I am talking about the electrons which are present in this, because previously it was just making, if I'm zooming this uh, depletion region, then it will look like this. It has the electrons combining like this. So this is covalent bond. See, if I take here, this is plus 5, This is +5. Okay, then 4 is already making. And I told you that in the depletion region we have immobile ions, means there is no any free electrons and holes. So this is one atom. Okay, these all are the silicon you can consider. Similarly, if you draw +3, then the free electron of this atom is already occupied over here and it is making the covalent bond. It is making the covalent bond. Okay, but due to field intensity, this electrons is getting out. Due to increasing the field intensity, these electrons become free and is going to flow. This is what Jenner breakdown. Okay, so if you see over here, let me yes, so diode operates just like normal diode when it is in forward bias. So no need to discuss the forward bias condition because PN junction diode forward operation and Zener diode forward operation both are same. However, when it is connected in reverse bias mode, a small leakage current flow through the diode. As reverse voltage increases to the predetermined breakdown voltage, that is Vz, okay, as I told you, then current starts flowing through the diode and this is known as Zener breakdown. This current increases to maximum, which is determined by series resistor, after which it stabilizes and remain constant over wide range of voltage. So second breakdown is the avalanche breakdown. Second breakdown is avalanche breakdown. One question may arise in your mind, like here I am going to increase the voltage level. Okay, in PN junction diode we have studied that in the reverse bias condition, when the more voltage is applied, okay, at that time diode junction is going to damage and your diode is also heat up, okay, and it may damage, right? But here why we are increasing this voltage level? Is my Zener diode going to break down or not? Diode going to damage or not? Okay. So let me tell you. See, current flow up to the Zener voltage is totally depending on electric field intensity, but not the collision. Okay, electrons are going to free due to high field intensity, but not like that one electron is coming with the huge kinetic energy and it will collide with other electron and then more and more electrons are going to produce. It's not like that. Electrons becomes free only due to the effect of electric field intensity, and that's why heat is not produced, and if heat is not produced, the junction is not going to be damaged. Okay, up to which voltage? Up to Zener breakdown voltage. Okay, but still if you are increasing the voltage level, still if you are increasing the voltage level, then as I told you that the minority carrier electrons are there, that is gaining the more kinetic energy, is passing through it, and then it will collide with other electrons. Okay, and in this way the more and more number of electrons are going to be produced, more and more number of electrons. So one electron can liberate two more, similarly another one can liberate two more. So in this way the avalanche effect now start, and this is due to collision. In this case, your PN junction means heat is developed and this junction is going to be damaged. Okay, so this is known as avalanche breakdown. So that is happen at some more voltage, means at high voltage, right? So in that condition your Zener diode is going to be damaged. Okay, so these two breakdown effect are there. First is avalanche breakdown, second one is Zener breakdown. So avalanche breakdown occurs both in normal diode and Zener diode at high reverse voltage. When high value of reverse voltage is applied to PN junction, free electron gains sufficient energy and accelerate at high velocities. These free electrons moving at high velocity will collide with other atoms and knock off from the more electrons. So due to this continuous collision, a large number of free electrons are generated. As a result of electric current in diode rapidly increases. This sudden increase in the electric current may permanently destroy the normal diode. However, Zener diode is designed to operate under avalanche breakdown and can sustain the sudden spike of the current. Okay. Now, what is Zener breakdown? Already I told you. So let us complete it quickly. When applied reverse bias voltage reaches closer to the Zener voltage Vz, okay, then electric field in the depletion region gets strong to pull electrons from their valence band. So valence electron get the sufficient energy from the strong field, okay, and it will break and become free. So at Zener breakdown region, a small increase in the voltage results in rapid increase of the electric current, but this is due to electric field intensity and not due to the heat dissipation, right? And that's why it is not going to damage your diode. So Zener effect is dominant in voltage up to 5.6 volt, and avalanche effect takes over about it. They are both similar effects. The difference being that the Zener effect is a quantum phenomena and avalanche effect is the movement of electrons in the valence band like in any electric current. Okay. So this is what the VI characteristic you can see. If you note down your forward bias characteristic and if you compare it with the PN junction, okay, it is same. It is same, but in case of reverse bias operation, you can see uh, over here some leakage current is flowing, and then at some particular voltage, that is Vz, okay, you can see after Vz the current increases more. But if you still increase voltage more and more, then avalanche breakdown is taking place. Okay, and at this particular voltage, you can see the current is more and your diode is going to damage. So this is the VI characteristic of Zener diode. So I'm just talking about reverse bias characteristic because forward is already discussed in PN junction diode. So when reverse voltage is applied to Zener diode, initially a small reverse saturation current flows across the diode. This current is due to thermally generated minority carriers. As reverse voltage is increased at certain value of reverse voltage, the reverse current increases drastically and sharply. This is an indication that breakdown has occurred. Okay, so we call this this voltage as a breakdown voltage or Zener voltage, and it is denoted by Vz. It's denoted by Vz. Okay, so this is all about Zener diode. You can see the application of Zener diode. It is used as voltage regulator. Zener diode is used as voltage regulator. Okay. Also, it is used as over voltage protection. So almost both applications are similar, because if you want to protect any equipment against the over voltage condition, you just connect it across the Zener diode. It will maintain the constant voltage across that equipment. Zener diode in clipper circuit. I told you when we have discussed the Clipper circuit, I have one figure in that two Zener diodes are connected, and that is acting as Clipper circuit. Now you know what is Clipper circuit, right? Next is LED, or you can say light emitting diode. So light emitting diode or LEDs are widely used as a standard source of light in electrical equipment. It has a wide array of applications ranging from your mobile phone to the large advertising billboards. They find applications in devices of showing what the time is and for displaying different types of data. So in this post, the main focus would be on learning a lot about LEDs. So first of all, we'll start from its symbol. You can see the symbol. See, all of you have to remember all the symbols in this. That what is the symbol of diode, then non-conventional diode, then Zener diode, LED, photodiode, tunnel diode, right? So this is the symbol of LED. This terminal is anode, here is cathode, and this two arrow will show that it will emit the light. Okay. So what is LED? A light releasing diode is an electric component that emits light when electric current flows through it. It is a light source based on semiconductors. When current passes through the LED, the electron recombine with the holes. When current passing through the LED, the electrons recombine with the holes, emitting light in the process. Okay. It is a specific type of diode having similar characteristic as PN junction diode. So you can see PN junction diode is the base for all diode. Okay. Everywhere it will come into the picture. So make sure that you all have remembered the working principle and construction of PN junction diode. This means that LED allows the flow of current in its forward direction while it blocks the flow in the reverse direction. Light emitting diodes are built in using a weak layer of heavily doped semiconductor material. So this is also heavily doped. Based on semiconductor material used and amount of doping, LED will emit a colored light at particular spectral wavelength when it is in forward bias condition. So here you can see the working principle of LED. See, this is P and N are combined. So this is P type, this is N type. Number of holes are there in the P type, electrons are there on the N type. Okay. Right now it is connected in forward bias condition because positive is connected with P and negative is connected with N. So holes lie in the valence band while the free electrons are in the conduction band. So when there is a forward bias in PN junction, the electron which is part of N-type semiconductor, so we are talking about this red bubble, electrons which are part of N-type semiconductor material would overrun the PN junction and join with the holes in the P-type semiconductor material. So it's a similar that we have discussed in PN junction diode. Therefore, regarding the holes, a free electron would be at higher energy bands. Okay. When this movement of free electron and hole takes place, there is a change in energy level as voltage drop from the conduction band to valence band occurs, and there is a release of energy due to motion of electron. So in standard diodes, release of energy in the manner of heat, but in LED, the release of energy is in the form of photons. Release of energy is in the form of photons that would emit the light energy, and the entire process is known as electroluminescence, and the diode are known as light emitting diode. So in LED, energy discharge in light form hinges on the forbidden energy gap. One could manipulate the wavelength of light produced in order to obtain different colors, right? So therefore, from its wavelength, the light color and its visibility or cannot be controlled. So color and wavelength of the light emitted can be determined by doping it with several impurities. Okay, so this is the LED. Next we have photodiode. It is a form of light sensor that converts light energy into electrical energy like voltage or current. Photodiode is a type of semiconducting device with PN junction. Between the P and N, that is positive and negative layers, an intrinsic layer is present. Okay, intrinsic means pure semiconductor. The photodiode accepts light energy as input to generate the electric current. Okay, that means if you want to activate your diode, then you just have to put light on this. Okay, it is also called photodetector, photosensor, or light detector. Photodiode operates in reverse bias condition. So this is the second diode that is acting in the reverse bias condition after the Zener diode. So P side of photodiode is connected with a negative and terminal of battery, N side is connected with the positive of the battery. So in that condition, your diode will be in the reverse bias condition and it will work. So now you can see the diode symbol. So photodiode materials are generally made up of silicon, germanium, indium, gallium, arsenide, phosphide, and indium gallium arsenide. Internally, a photodiode has optical filters, built-in lens, and a surface area. When surface area of photodiode increases, when surface area of photodiode increases, it results in less response time. Few photodiodes will look like LED. It has two terminals and small terminal act as cathode and long terminal act as anode. So actually, if you see LED, this is, let us say it's LED. It's two terminal. This is two terminal. One terminal or one leg is long and second one is short. So the short one is cathode and long one is the anode. Okay, so in photodiode also it is same. Now symbolic representation you can see in the LED, these two arrows are from outside direction because LED emits the light. But here in photodiode, both are in inward direction. That means it shows that photodiode, you require the light source or you have to apply the light on the diode so that it can operate. Now working of photodiode. Working of the photodiode. Generally, when a light is made to illuminate the PN junction, covalent bonds are ionized and it will generate holes and electron pairs. So here you can see we have first of all this PN junction, P type and N type, and this is my junction. Okay, this is junction and I have to apply the light source on this. So photocurrents are produced due to generation of electron hole pair. So as you are going to apply the light on the junction, then these covalent bonds are going to be ionized and it will generate hole and electron pair, and due to this photocurrent is going to be produced. So electron hole pairs are formed when photons of energy more than 1.1 electron volt hits the diode. When photon enters the depletion region of diode, it hits the atom with high energy. This will result in release of electron from the photon atom structure. After the electron release, free electrons and holes are produced. Free electrons and holes are produced. In general, an electron will have negative charge and holes will have a positive charge. The depletion energy will have built-in electric field. The depletion energy will have built-in electric field, and due to that electric field, electron hole pair move away from the junction. Okay, electron hole pair move away from the junction. So you can see here the direction of both are towards this, and here also it is away from the junction due to the energy. Yes, so the photon, so if you see holes are moving to the anode side and electrons moving to the cathode side to produce the photocurrent. So the photon absorption intensity and photon energy are directly proportional to each other. So when energy of photons is less, the absorption will be more. This entire process is known as inner photoelectric effect. So what is inner photoelectric effect? This one, that an electron will have negative charge on the holes and will have positive charge. The depletion energy will have built-in electric field, and due to this electric field, electron hole pairs move away from the junction. Okay, so holes are going towards anode and electrons moving towards the cathode in order to produce the photocurrent. Okay, so photon absorption intensity and photon energy are directly proportional to each other. When energy of photon is less, absorption will be more, and this process is known as inner photoelectric effect. Intrinsic excitations and extrinsic excitation are the two methods via which the photon excitation happens. The process of intrinsic excitation happens when electron in the valence band is excited by the photon to the conduction band. Okay. Modes of operation of photodiode. So photodiode operates in three different modes: photovoltaic mode, photoconductive mode, and avalanche diode mode. So let us see one by one. Photovoltaic mode. This is called as zero bias mode. So when photodiode operates in low frequency applications and ultra level light applications, this mode is generally preferred. When photodiode is irradiated by flash of light, voltage is produced The voltage produced will have a very small dynamic range and it has a non-linear characteristic. So when photodiode is configured with op-amp, that is operational amplifier, in this mode, there will be a very less variation with the temperature. So basically this is uh, the mode or photovoltaic mode is applicable to very uh, low frequency applications and ultra level light applications. Okay. Second one is photoconductive mode. In this mode, photodiode will act in reverse bias condition. Cathode will be positive and anode will be negative. So when cathode will be positive means it is connected with the positive of the battery, and similarly anode is connected with the negative terminal of the battery. So when the reverse voltage increases, the width of depletion layer also increases. Already we know. Due to this, the response time and junction capacitance will be reduced. Response time and junction capacitance will be reduced. So comparatively, this mode of operation is fast and produce electronic noise. And the last one is avalanche diode mode. In this mode, avalanche diode operates at a high reverse bias condition. At a high reverse bias condition. It allows multiplication of an avalanche breakdown to each photo produced electron hole pair. Hence, this produces internal gain within photodiode. The internal gain increases the device response. Okay. So this is applicable for light applications and these two are applicable for some high applications. Yes, this is the VI characteristic of photodiode, and as I told you, it is operating in the reverse bias condition or in reverse direction. No need to show the forward characteristic. So here you can see this is reverse current on this axis, and here it is voltage, right? Reverse voltage, and the characteristic you can see that is similar. The leakage current is there. Okay. Here for different values of voltage it is shown. Then we have applications of photodiode and where you can use it. So photodiodes are used in many simple day-to-day applications. The reason for their use is the linear response of photodiode to light illumination. When more amount of light falls on the sensor, it produces high amount of current. The increase in the current will be displayed on galvanometer connected to a circuit. Photodiodes help to provide an electric isolation also with the help of optocouplers. When two isolated circuits are illuminated by light, optocouplers is used to couple and circuit optically. Okay, but the circuits will be isolated electrically compared to conventional devices. Photodiodes are also used in safety electronic like fire, smoke detectors. Okay, it's also used in TV units. When utilized in cameras, they act as photosensors. Photodiodes are also widely used in numerous medical applications like instruments to analyze samples, detectors for computed tomography, and also used in blood gas monitors. Okay. So let me just repeat all the applications. So first is when more amount of means this line is, we can say, the operation that when more and more light falls on the sensor, it produces the high amount of current. So this will increase the current, right? So photodiodes help to provide, first of all, electric isolation with the help of optocouplers. Second, used in as a safety electronic equipment like fire and smoke detectors, right? It's also used in TV unit, in cameras, in medical equipments, right? So many applications are there. Next is laser diode. A laser diode is a semiconductor device similar to light emitting diode. It uses PN junction to emit coherent light in which all the waves are at same frequency. All the waves are at same frequency and phase. So what it means? Normally, if you have different waves which is passing, okay, now it is not with same frequency as well as not with same phase. So the total light is going to be spread. But instead of this, all the waves are passing very near to this, now intensity of this light is going to be increased, right? That is what the fundamental of laser. So this coherent light is produced by laser diode using a process which is known as light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, full form of laser. Light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, which is abbreviated as laser. And since PN junction is used to produce laser light, this device is known as laser diode. Okay. Yes, so we'll keep up to this. Next time we will see the construction of laser diode, its PI characteristic. Then we'll see tunnel diode, varactor diode, okay, and 7-segment display. So let me just tell you what we have completed today. Today we have started with some special diodes like Zener diode we have completed, then LED completed, and photodiode is completed. Next time we'll complete laser, 7-segment display, varactor diode, and tunnel diode. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, all of you mention your enrollment number into the chat box with your division. Thank you for attending this session. I'm going to end the meeting.